خلينا نعمل. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. بداية أحب أني أشكر أخوي الأستاذ عبد اللطيف العكيفي على هذا التقديم، وشكرا خاص للأستاذ هيثم النعيمي مدير عام الجودة وسلامة المرضى في وزارة الصحة، وشكر موصول لأستاذنا وكيل الوزارة المساعد للتخطيط والتميز الأستاذ عبد العزيز عبد الباقي. صراحة يعني الأصداء جميلة جدا على موضوع عيدية الجودة، وبرضو منصة التدريب الآن يعني تجاوزوا المتدربين أكثر من 30,000، وهذا شيء يثلج الصدر ورغبة الناس وحماسهم على أن يحضروا مثل هذه الدورات. Today we want to go through the part 2 of the performance improvement. We will try to make quick revision to the first part. As you know, the first part we're talking about the performance improvement, and the performance improvement, it was we're talking about it's analyzing the performance problem and trying to set up this problem to be ensured a good performance. And also we define the performance improvement to be a systematic methodology or methods and tools to be find the root cause analysis and put it in a plan to set these problems and to let this performance to reach the patient or customer expectations. And also in the last or in the part 1, we're talking about performance improvement. I'm sorry today I'm talking totally in English because in the last in the first part there are a lot of people they're talking about why you're not mainly talking English, and I try today to covering these areas. I will try to make summarize in the end of the lecture today in Arabic. I will put some word in Arabic in between, but mainly our course will be in English because the exams and the course will be totally in English. Performance improvement priority, as we talked in the last lectures about how to make priority to your area or process for improvements, and we're talking about you should have a criteria related to that. One of the criteria, this process or improving our project should be aligned with your strategical goals and missions. If this is not aligned with your strategical goal or your vision and mission, it will not be a first priority for you. That means it should be going through these areas. Second things, also should put it in the feasible criteria regarding to the high risk, high volume, for example, high cost, problem prone. That means you have an set of criteria is not only you select this area because you want to select these areas. Also, we're talking about when you are selecting this project, it should be based on the qualitative and quantitative data. يعني لازم تكون يعني تكون بيانات نوعية أو بيانات رقميه بحيث انه انت تقيس البرفورمانس على ضوءها راح تحسن. احنا قلنا اكثر من مره what you cannot measure you cannot improve or you cannot manage even. تطرقنا برضو الموضوع الكواليتي بيرفورمانس امبروفمنت بروسيس وقلنا انها 9 stage. The first one is talking about considering the stakeholder and is considering an institutional context اللي هي vision and mission and goals. This is also when you are selecting your project, you should go through this one. Second one is talking about obtain stakeholder agreement. Yes, before you are starting to be your project, you should put it an agreement like some hospital or some organization should passing through the Quality and Patient Safety Committee or passing through the Executive Committee or also the board directors or the board members should be passing through these areas to be taken an improvement or agreement from them. Third one, define the desires performance, what you want. And we put an example, for example, we put an example regarding to the no-show in OPD. We said, in case if you have 40% of the patient, they are not coming to their appointment, what your desired outcomes? Or what is your desire for performance? I need to reduce it to 20%, for example. This is the desires. Describe the actual performance? Yes, I describe my performance, current performance is 40% of the patient, they are not coming to their appointment. And also we're talking about describing the gaps between 40 to 20. What is this gaps and how to be improve these gaps to reduce it from 40 to 20. Find the root cause analysis by many tools you can using to find the root cause analysis and select and design the initiatives and implement the initiatives and monitoring this initiative. This 9 stage, any improvement or any performance improvement or any project should be passing through these stages. Also in the part 1, we're covering the team building and we're talking about responsibility of the team and talking about team stage, and we're talking about team stage. If you remember, we're talking about forming, storming, norming, and performing. This 4 stage should be every team you formulated should be passing through this stage. That means is easy to be understanding the stages of the growth of the teams. This stage, it will be clear to you when you are starting to formulate your team. The first one, how to be selecting your team, how to be forming your team, how to be nominate your teams. Second things, when the first meeting started, the people, they are not knowing their rules and responsibility, and everyone, they want to lead the groups and leading the teams. It will be a storming stage. And the third one will be performing, or not performing, norming. That means everyone, they knowing about their responsibilities and they will go through their task, what already assigned by the teams, and he will be later on will be the last stage will be performance, the outcomes, and what is the team formulated for what to be assigned for, to finish root cause analysis, to improve that areas, or other like committees, and they have a task and responsibility and goals to be reached in the end of the year, or after 3 months, or after 6 months, or within 30 days, like in the root cause analysis. We also talking about KPIs, and we say when you are having a KPIs and you have a set of KPIs measuring 3 areas, for example, should be like measuring the structures and measuring the process and measuring the outcomes. And this is a problem when you are, and this is very important, when you are selecting this KPIs, trying to be selecting that KPIs, helping you and also align with your vision for you and helping you to monitoring your project to reach your goals. This is very important. This is what we covered in the last lectures about our part 1 performance improvement. Today we will cover, I think, who's أنا بس أحب أتأكد واضحة معكم الصوت واضح.
الصوت واضح، متابعين معك دكتور. وبعدين المقدمة جميلة. The last يعني 10 minutes was very good start with having the previous what have been discussed. Now it's the second, because last يعني part is connected with this part. فشكرا جزيلا لك دكتور.
يعطيك العافية. Okay. Who's joining us today? I'm talking about, my name is عايد الرشيدي. I have master's degree in hospital administrations, auditor, lead editor for ISO 9001 2015, certified internal assessor for King Abdulaziz Quality Award, certified professional care quality, CPHQ certifier, master black belt in 6 Sigma, and my assignment today in Al-Qasim Health Clusters. I'm working as a Vice President of Performance Excellences and Quality at Al-Qasim Health Clusters. For who will join us today, okay. I will starting today within any famous any methodology used, and everyone maybe is participate as a team members or as a leading the team in Focus PDCA. Focus PDCA is a methodology that is used to identify the improvement opportunities and creates a systematic approach to implement the change. I think you remember the PDCA, for example, plan, do, check, and act, but already Shewart cycles. And Deming also is talking about PDSA, plan, do, study, and act. What already now is the Hospital Corporation of America is adding focus. That means they found when you are doing a plan in the Shewart cycles, you are doing a lot of things related to find the problems and organize your team and clarify understanding and selection. When you are reaching the plan, that means you are already, you know what is your initiative to be implemented. That means you will set your plan. When we are going through this areas, for example, letter F, find the process to improve. Let us to go to my examples, what already from the first part regarding to the patient who is not coming to their appointment. 40% of the patient, they are not coming to their appointment in X hospitals or in OPD in X hospital. That means I have some areas need to be improved. I put that criteria is aligned with my goals. Yes, it's talking about patient, it will be affecting patient satisfactions, increasing the waiting times, increasing the, affecting a lot of things related to patient care. That means one of the goals related to patient care, that means it's affecting that areas. Okay, I'm selecting this also. How I will find, I have this data and I'm going to looking how to be set up a letter F or find the process for improvement. The important two things you will be sitting in this stage is one, a problem statement. How to be create a problem statement and writing very well. And second things, how to also writing your goals or your desires performance or goals. I have in a problem statement, I have from my experience and even from many references is talking about you should have a problem statement covering what happens, when, and where, and what impacts. This four you should answering by your problem statement. Like what? For example, in the last 6 months, the average no-show, for example, the no-show in the OPD A or OPD in that hospital, for example, is 40%. They are not coming to their appointment, which will be affecting the patient satisfaction and increasing the waiting time. That means when? In the last 6 months. What? No-show. And where in the OPD, and what is impact, and this is also helping me in that. Goal statement, SMART. You know, everyone, they know about SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, and realistic, and time-bound. When you are, say, reducing the no-show from 40% to 20% for coming 6 months, this is it will be a good goal statement. And also it will be specific, yes, specific. Measurable, yes, from 40 to 20s. Realistic, yes, is واقعي عشان I can reachable يعني. And time bound within 6 months. This is very important things in F. Organize your team, as I told you in the part one. When you are organize your team, the best tools in equality to organize your team, a flow chart. When you are drawing your flow chart for your process, and you can select your team based on this flow chart. And for example, the patient coming from parking to the receptions, and from reception to nursing stations and or nursing areas, or the vital signs clinic or vital signs rooms, and after that they will go to the waiting areas, and they will go to the clinic and seeing the doctor, seeing the nurse again, and he will go back to the appointment areas. He will go to the pharmacy, or will go to the OPD director. That means all these areas, whatever the patient go through it, I should taking or represented by any members. But also we're talking last lectures, we're talking when you are selecting the team, select who's affect and effect in this process. And this is very, 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 very important to me, because you want as a good teams who can help you to solve this problem. Clarify the current stated. Yeah, I will draw the flow chart. I'm drawing the current flow chart and looking for, sometimes we're collecting some data for 2 weeks, and to make more clarification about this area of improvement. You understanding the root causes, we will do many tools we are using here. Brainstorming, I think Dr. Mu'tasim covered these areas during his lecture. Brainstorming, generate ideas about this area of improvement. Why 40% of the patient, they are not coming to their appointment? This is the questions, this is the problems. What is the possible causes for these problems? Let the team to generate their ideas, and trying to these teams to help you to create and generate a lot of ideas during a short period, within or half an hour or 1 hour. Again, also you will be use root cause analysis and fishbones tools to help you to find the root cause analysis related to that. And sometimes you are using 5 whys even. When you understanding and you know the root cause analysis, you will go through the select the improvements, because you will do another brainstorming to also select the initiatives or select the interventions and the solutions by using brainstorming. And also you are using like multi-voting or prioritization matrix, or any tools help you to be select the proper solution for this problem. PDCA, I think everyone, they understanding the PDCA, because PDCA is a plan for improvement. You know that's area of improvement. For example, if we're going to that examples, let us to assume we select updating the policies. This is one. The second thing, to put in a call centers, because many of the patients from their answer, they said, we forget our appointment, and we didn't know. We did a call center or reminder system using SMS, for example. This is 3 intervention I can implement it for improvement of these areas. I will do on a plan. I will do who's responsible and what I will do and when and how. This is for questions. Who responsible for that? For example, if I'm talking updating the policies. Okay, who's the owner of these policies? He's the one responsible for updating this. What? Updating the policies. When? Within a week, within a month. How? By setting a team or by updating what they have like this. Another things, call centers. Call center is need some staffing, some needing an assistance, for example, an office, and a job description, organization charts, a lot of things. That means also who is responsible and what and when and how. Also, in case of SMS or reminder system, I will set a plan for this areas. Do or D, letter D, do the improvement. And now I want to do an implementation. When I'm doing implementations, I'm trying to do the implementation. I'm trying to do piloting. I cannot implement it for all the clinic in my organization or all my areas or my hospital. I will try to implement it in 2 or 3 clinic to also and see later to check the result. I will comparing my for example, current performance with already 40% to our performance after my implementation of the solutions. And later on, if some improvements happens, I will try to act or maintaining my gain and develop the plan to monitoring the data, and the best things to monitoring your data and your control chart, to looking how to be your data and monitoring during the time. This is the easy and very simple methodology is focus PDCA, and I think it's not need from us a lot of training. Is very easy tools, and everyone he can be implementing this tool in his organizations. Okay. The second methodology, okay, in case of we're talking PDCA and PDSA. As you know, Shiwart is talking about PDCA, check the result, and Deming is talking about PDSA, what already in the state of check, he made an studies, because he said, when you are comparing, and before and after, that means you are doing a study because you are comparing from previous data with the current data after you implement your interventions for improvement. This is the difference between mainly from Deming and Shiwart. Six Sigma. About Six Sigma, for example, is one of the methodology, and is this Six Sigma starting with Motorola in 1980. It's starting mainly in 1975. But actually implemented in Motorola in 1980 by engineer Bill Smith. It's, and also GE, it's implemented this Six Sigma methodology as an strategical business with Jack Walsh in 1995. The perfection there is we are seeking for perfection to be reached 99.99966 or 97, for example. The main things here, and who's preparing himself, or the people who has exam in December, for example, you should know the aim of Six Sigma. Know if the aim of Six Sigma is removing the cause of defects and trying to reduce the variations. This is the main aims for Six Sigma, trying to reduce the variation. And maybe they will ask you also to understand what means of the Six Sigma. Six Sigma is a 6 standard deviations from the mean. That means how you are far away from the means and how you are distributed around the mean by more than 6 standard deviation. Also some other references, they said 0 defect. And if you remember the theory of Crosby, what already talking 0 defect, and this is not still. And also the error rate should be not exceed 3.4 defect per million opportunities. That means we are seeking a perfection of 99.9997. We are trying to reach this one because we are trying to reach in every opportunities, in every 1 million, it's the opportunities of the defect will be 3.4. As we're talking about that, Six Sigma as we are seeking the perfections, and we're trying to remove the cause of defect and trying also to reduce the variations. تقليل الاختلافات في البروسيس العملية، نحاول أن نصل إلى 3.4 خطأ لكل مليون فرصة. معناته احتمالية الخطأ يعني شبه معدومة إن نصل إلى زيرو ديفكت. طبعا هو مش من السهل إنه نعملها إن نصل ل 6 سيجما، ولكن هي starting to understand the concept of the 6 sigma. هي عبارة عن عندنا بالميثودولوجي starting by DMAIC and DMADIF or design for 6 sigma. DMAIC, I will try to covering DMAIC today, and maybe I will give you a brief about DMADIF. DMAIC, D means define. In the define phase, the main things here, we are looking for the customer or the voice of customers. We are trying to make an road or mapping of the process by using a tools named by SciBook. SciBook is means S suppliers, I input, P process, and O outcome, and C is customers. You should draw this things about who's your suppliers, and what is your input, and what is the process, and what is the outcomes, and what is the customer for this process. If we are talking about that process for patients who's not coming to their appointment, that means we are trying to looking for that process from patient who's coming to the reception till patient he receive his care and going to the pharmacy and take his medication and going home. That means all this process and area, I will try to cover it by using SciBook. Also, I'm trying to gathering the voice of a customer by setting a tool to gathering the voice of customer. And when you are gathering the voice of customer, you are trying to looking for the CTQ or critical to quality, which is linking this voice of customer with your quality dimensions, and also make priority for the voice of customer and needs, I mean the needs of the customer, by using KANU models. This is a lot of things we're talking about, but I will give you a brief about it. But in CPHQ exam, they will not ask in detail about these issues. The main things, and in the end of the define phase or stage, you will be go to the project any final project for approvals, because in the end of that one, you understanding what is the customer and what is the mapping of your process, اللي هو يسمونها macro mapping, and also you will be looking for the priority of the voice of customer, and you're trying to looking for the critical for quality and CTQ, critical to quality, and also you will be covering the problem statement, goal statement, and what is also your teams, and you will be do your project and milestone, how to be your milestones from define and measures, analysis, and improvement control, when you will be start your project and when you will be finished, and you will take also the agreement and approval of the responsible person. In the measure phase, you will be trying to be important things here. You will be collect data, sure, and important things in that areas, you will be measuring the 6 sigma or current 6 sigma level for your current process. 40% of patient, they are not coming to their appointment. That means you have an areas by using equations, and you will be, after you finishing the equations, you will be looking for the table, and from the table you understanding what is your current sigma. I think I remember I did this equation, and we found our sigma is not reached to the 2 sigma. That means I have now my current process or current sigma is 2. That means in measure phase, the important for me to know what my current sigma. Analyzing, you will ask questions, same what we are doing in understanding the root cause analysis. Try to looking for your data, doing brainstorming, root cause analysis, and trying to find you why my sigma or current sigma for my process is 2. Why is not 3? Why is not 4? Why is not 5? That means I will try my best to understanding what's the root cause analysis related to. After understanding the root cause analysis, I'm trying to looking for, I will go to the improvement phase. In the improve phase, I will implement these interventions. I will try to monitoring and changing and seeing the judgment and trying to looking for the results after implementation of this. Like as I told you, updating the policies, make the call centers and trying to do other things regarding, for example, reminder system, SMS, for example. Controls, and every control, you gain something during your project durations, and you try to maintain your gain. الصوت واضح يا جماعة؟
هو الصوت احيانا يقطع واحيانا يجي، يعني في بعض الناس كانوا يتدخلون معنا يقولون الصوت شوي واطي، في يعني ليت ترفع الصوت شوي دكتور.
برفع الصوت، ابى صايح ما عندي احد.
زين خذ راحتك. هي يقطع احيانا ويجي، لكن ما يقطع لمره مرتين. فجو اهيد لو قطع.
بعض مرات النت يمكن عندنا اشكاليه في النت، بس ان شاء الله الامور كويسه. بخصوص موضوع الكنترولز، when you are gain anything you should monitoring this, gain it by using a tools or a control charts, for example, or any KPIs, so looking for your current after you do an interventions. Also, for example, you can updating your policy, changing your organization chart, adding to the job description if your implementation need to be put, for example, call centers, and you assign a person to do this job, and you should put it you should put for him and a job description, clear job description, and also add this unit to the organization chart of the OBD departments to be and ensure you are maintaining your what you already reach and trying to be improved and seeking for the proof. Six Sigma, there is a belt, for example, there is yellow belt, green belt, and black belt, and master black belt, and champions. Yellow belt is a course for 2 days, 2 days to 3 days, is mainly to understanding the DMAIC methodology. I'm sorry, I didn't covering the DMADIF, but DMADIF is changing DMADV. Means what? In a state of improve will be designed, and in a state of control will be verified. This is mainly for a new process. If you wanted to implement Six Sigma, and after you reach the analyzing phase regarding medication error, for example, and you found that problem is related to the, you are using a prescription or manual prescription, and you wanted to confirm it to the HIS system or electronic systems or electronic prescriptions, that means you will be designing this process, a new process, and you will be verification after you're implementing this one. But this is the change of the DMAIC and DMADIF. And yellow belt, for example, you will be on a course, it will be on a course for 2 days. This 2 days is covering the DMAIC concept and methodology. You will not, it's not يعني ما مطلوب منك انك تطبق الدمادف DMAIC for example. مطلوب منك ان تعرف بالمفهوم الخاص بالDMAIC، لانك انت راح تشارك في المستقبل كعضو في مشاريع السكس سيجما. ذات مين اذا تكلمنا عن موضوع الديفاين، وش معنى الديفاين، وش التولز اللي راح نستخدمها في كل فيزز من الفيزات. فيهمنا انه نفرق ما بين اليلو and other belts. The green belt is it's only 4 to 5 days courses, and also it will be during the courses you will do a workshop for implementing this project. You will be create a project using the make from define to control, and all the teams or a group team, they will be trying to do on a project, and they will be also implemented in his organization, and he will be presented later on, and he will be have a certificate related to green belt. Black belt is leaders of the teams, and in a green belt he can lead a project internally. And for example, if you are working in lab or pharmacy and you have a project, the scope of project only inside the pharmacy, for example, and you have a green belt, you can lead this project. But in case of this project and hospital-wide, for example, it should be leading at least by black belt. The difference between green and black is mainly the tools and some statistical, more statistical practice. You will be deal with that. That means you will be references for a green belt and master black belt. Mainly you will be a mentor and trainer for a coach for a black belt, and also you will be helping the black belt leaders or a project or a green belt project to help him in that. Okay, champions mainly the one who reached this areas. We are concerning about the manager and leaders in the organization, because we are trying them to understanding the concept of Six Sigma, because we need them to help the teams and to implement this methodology in their organizations, and trying them to be support the team by any needs during the project times. Lean. The third one is talking about lean, and this is very important. Application value stream analysis is major focusing to eliminate the waste. This is the questions. This is very important, very important during the exams. What is the aim of the lean? We're talking about Six Sigma, reduce the variations, and also removing the defect. What about lean is focusing to eliminate the waste and focusing on added value. Added value based on what? Based on the customer view or customer needs. There is a type of waste, for example, offer productions. Any offer productions in your organizations is named by waste. يعني الإنتاجية الزايدة is header بالمعنى العام. Inventories, أي materials available in your organizations and you have many stores, for example, is a waste. Trying to be using the pull process or methodology or methods, because trying to have it weekly or monthly, but don't put it in a store for 3 months, and you have some organizations, they said, we have more than 5 stores. This is waste. Whatever you have it is waste. That means trying to not having more inventory. Over processing, yes, sometimes in some organization, you have duplication and over processing. Sometimes they are using the computers or HIS, and sometimes they are documented in the manuals or patient's medical record. This is over processing. Sometimes they said, send it through email and give me a paper, or send it by Sahel, for example, or by any letters later. This is also over processing. Waiting any areas or any waiting areas is a waste. Based on what? Based on the customer's voice or customer needs. Transportations and motions, transportations, any movement of peoples, any movement of process or materials, motions, also when you need and not sitting your items or materials in a good places, and when you are looking for that areas, you will be motion and you're moving to that area. Defect, sure, definitely defect. When you have a defect in any things, machines, individual performance, for example, when a nursing sit in a cannula, for example, if sit it from the first time, this is good, and this is good from her, but then sit it in 2 times, second trial, third trial, fourth trial, that means this is defect. You should work. Maybe she's not trained in that. That means you need from you to set on a training for her. The 5 basic steps and lean, for example, and almost we hear about lean and Six Sigma. That means lean will be implemented before the Six Sigma, because lean is removing the waste from your process before you implement the Six Sigma to removing the defect. Specify the value from the end customer perspective. The customers, he will tell you what is added value and what's non-added value. By using what? When you are implementing the lean in your as a project, and who's working in ADA, for example, ADA Health is mainly we are using lean there. You will be drawing the process mapping, and after you are drawing your process mapping, you will be identifying the added value and non-added value based on who? Based on the customer's perspective. Like what? For example, patient coming to the AR. In the registration areas, is sometimes patient is not added value in the customers or patients. But this area I cannot eliminate it, because we can say talking enables, for example, because is by regulation any patient visiting the ER should be registered. This is one. Any waiting area, after I'm registered, I will wait. I'm going to triage and wait. Maybe triage added value for him, because in cases is level 3 or level 2, he will be first, and level 4 and 5 he will wait. That means this is maybe added value based on the condition of the cases. But any waiting areas, they will say it's not added value based on that. Sometimes they said, who was able the customer to pay for this steps or for this process, it could be added value for the customer. I came to the ER with my child. I need, for example, to be seen by physicians and give him the treatment. This is the important things for me as a customers. Other things, trying hospital and any organization should be trying to find how to be aligned with the customer perspectives and how to be looking for the added value. Identifying the step to added value stream to each series, because you're looking for added value, and making the value adding step flow without interruptions to the customers, because when you are found that one, you will be go through this one. Implement the pull systems based on the customer demand. Pull system is very, very important, because don't sit things with you and let the patient to ask you to take it. Pull system, for example, like when you are visiting the Kentucky or another fast food restaurant, when you pay and take the bill, he will prepare for you. This is pull system, because you let the customer to bill you to prepare for him. But in other restaurants, for example, he's ready for him. Maybe somebody will not come to him. That means there is a waste there areas. Identify the value stream and non-added value steps, and trying to eliminate the non-added value. And again, you will go to the process mapping when you are improvement. The lean, you will go also process mapping and found the added value, non-added value, and again to reduce the non-added value based on the customer perspective.
ممكن more explanation لل added value. في كم سؤال جاينا بالشكل هذا, just more explanation على added value.
اوكي, احنا قلنا الان الادد فاليو اللي هي تضيف قيمه للكاستمر نفسه. الكاستمر انا جاي وطلبت مثال, انا جاي للمستشفى, الادد فاليو بالنسبه لي ان طفلي يشوفه طبيب يفحص جيد, وبعدها يشخص التشخيص الجيد ويعطيه العلاج المناسب. هذا الادد فاليو بالنسبه لي. other things ما لي دخل فيها, يعني ما لي دخل في موضوع الريجستريشن, ما لي دخل. بس انه انا اقول لك الريجستريشن احنا نقولها دائما even he the customer said انا non added value, but بالنسبه لي كاورجنايزيشن بالنسبه للانترنال كاستمر is added value, لانه by regulation you should be registered. The second things بالنسبه للترياج ممكن الوهله الاولى مش added value بالنسبه للكاستمر, بس understanding the concept of triage, اذا كان هو عنده حاله الطفل 3 مثلا ولا 2 حسب السيتاس 1 او 2 او 3 او 4 او 5، 3 راح يكون قبل 4، فمعناته هيز ادد فاليو بالنسبه له، وعشان عطته افضليه انه يدخل قبل المريض الاخر. بالنسبه للبقاء مع الطبيب هيز ادد فاليو بالنسبه له. الانتظارات اللي موجوده في الطوارئ والانتظارات الموجوده في اي اريا تعتبر للكاستمر نون ادد فاليو. فانا ما اقول انها مش جيده، بس انا اقول اقلص الوقت فيها. يعني مثلا اذا وجدت انه ان المريض انتظر في الانتظار نص ساعه ساعه، اذا جمعت النون ادد فاليو ولقيتها اكثر من ساعتين خلال انتظاره في الطوارئ، فانا بحاول اقلصها الى ساعه في المرحله الاولى، المرحله الثانيه اقلصها لنص ساعه. ممكن احصل نيو ديزاين for a new process، ممكن اسوي يسمونه فاست تراك، ممكن اطبق نيو كلينيك اور نير PHC near to the hospital whatever. فهذه الادد فاليو اللي المريض يقدر يدفع عليها، يدفع مقابلها. يعني انا جاي مستعد ادفع مقابلها، بس other things it's not added value بالنسبه لي انا. وممكن هو تسال المريض نفسه. يعطيك العافيه. بالنسبه لموضوع كايزن ان برضه هو كايزن ما هو مره سيستماتيك ميثودولوجي، ولكن هو من الحلول او من الامبروفمنت اريز او من التولز اللي كان we used for lean also is as eliminate the waste, and also as a Kaizen is Kai mean change, then good or continuous improvement or good change. فهو التغيير للأفضل. فهو الaims اللي هو eliminate the waste. The difference between lean, there is a set of tools and you will be doing added value. Kaizen, you are trying to be like an just do it, or trying to do it quick win, for example, or you're trying to be implementing new. Like I'm visiting the big supermarket like Carrefour or Benda or for example Athene. When I'm going there, if I have a set list of things I need to take it there, if arrange it according to the sequence inside that thing, this will be reducing the time. Sometimes يعني بعض المرات تلقى مثلا مطلوب عندك منظفات وبعدها يجيك اللحوم، بعد اللحوم ترجع لك المنظفات ثاني مره، فمش هذه waste of time. That means I will try to eliminate it. I will set my things in Kaizen method to try to reduce the time what I will be consumed inside the market. Is mainly simple things like we implemented in some hospital, for example, in a sick leave report, for example. Is no need to make it an electronic. That means I will not let the patient to follow where is his medical record, going to that doctor, writing by that doctor's, going back to the medical record, and medical record they will be printed again and signing by the doctor again to sign it from hospital. This is big things. Before 5 or 6 years we implemented as electronic. When you when you are seeing that patient need a sick leave, you will be immediately write it in systems and he can come anytime and you can implement it from that area. This is one of the areas you can implement Kaizen in that area, because you're trying to reduce the waste and improve the patient satisfactions. This is a question. The PDCA performance improvement models is a method to continuous quality improvement to resolve a specific situation rather than organization-wide problems. PDCA stand for? What do you think the answers?
ما في أحد جاوب.
لا جاوبوا شفتهم جاوبوا بالكويشن انسر، جاوبوا كلهم قالوا اي.
اوكي طيب.
Okay, second things, which is the following is the main concept of lean management? I think we covered it. Lean management. What the answers? A or B or C or A or D, for example, because this is. What do you think the answer? Correct. C, waste eliminations. Okay, after you implement this. ها؟
اقول انت غششهم عشان كذا هم على طول يجاوبون.
والله اني قاصدها انا.
طيب excellent.
ال performance measure after you implement your improvement or performance improvement, and you should trying to monitoring what you gain and what you have, to be trying to maintaining what you have and trying to be improved later on. And one of the can be said systems or process computerized programs like a dashboard. A set of KPIs trying to be provide a few of the all organizations, and it's easy access computer program which integrated a variety of performance key indicators into one display, usual with a graph or chart, provide the running pictures of the department organization status and at any point of time. The dashboard is very, very important. It's very simple. So you can create it by your own, or you can looking for any applications, and or you can, if you have an HIS system, they will be help you in that. And but important for me and for you to sit on a KPIs. The KPIs would help you to measuring the performance of your goals or your performance improvement or project, to trying to looking for your performance from time to time, to at least you understand it. For example, if we're going back to that no-show, 40% of the patient, they are not coming to their appointment. When I finish my project, I reach to 30 or I reach to 28, 25. Still, I'm not reaching my goal, but already I'm setting my goal to 20. But how I will maintaining the 28 or 25, and how I will put it on implementation or any intervention to reach to 20. And after I reach the 20, maybe also I will set another goals for others improvement for my performance. Very important to following your project and trying to help how to be your performance after you implement your interventions. Benchmarking. Also the benchmarking, you know, انه مقارنه مع الافضل. وهذا important for me here, the best practice. You are reference point is best practice. Why are doing benchmarking? Because you are seeking for best practice. I'm doing things with sometimes internally or externally or zero incidents. Very important when you are put it any you're looking for your performance, you should set an a benchmark for you, internally or externally or zero incidents. Internally, for example, time to antibiotic or septic shock, an ER, for example, for the ICU at X hospitals, or برضو internally sometimes your performance last year about hand hygiene compliance is 80, and you said my threshold for next year will be 85 or 90, for example. You will be set on the threshold for reaching, for example, 15 to 25% from the actual performance. Externally, also, for example, eclampsia. Eclampsia is central line association bloodstream infections. In ICU, for example, at X hospital, مقارنة مع اللي هو National Health Care Safety Network. Also, a zero incidents, wrong side surgery, and X to zero incidents. This is sentinel events. It should be not happen there. That means your goals or your benchmarking zero incidents. And that means when you are sitting on a KPIs related to wrong side surgery or other incidents, or you will be looking for that, how to be reach the zero incidents. I have the last two slides regarding to the evidence-based practice and clinical pathway. This is I cover it because it's already in the international guide for CPHQ, is mainly under the performance, because when you are doing an evidence-based practice, you are seeking for what? the important here, when you are doing an evidence-based practice, you are seeking very important here, reducing the assignable variations. يعني أنت الآن عشان اللي هو اللي evidence-based practice تطبيقاتها داخل المنشأة، يعني الإجراء المبني على مثلا أو التطبيقات أو الإجراء المبني على البراهين، إنه كيف أنت الآن تطبقها عندك في المنشأة. The important things here to reduce the assignable variations. This is one. Very important to understanding what's the aim of evidence-based practice implementation in your organizations. Second things. The first thing, assignable variations. Second things is reduce the waste of time, because if I have evidence practice, it will be help me to reduce the waste of time. Reducing the waste of resources, because everyone, they will know what he will doing when he will be implementing the evidence-based practice. Improve the communication, because between the staff, between the medical staff, when they are providing the care, they will be improve the communication between staff, because everyone, they will be understanding how they are implementing this guidelines or these protocols. Ensure the quality care for individual clients. How you do on a process for when you are wanted to be implement or to create evidence-based practice, you are asking important question about care. What is the care for in your organization or hospital? Acquire the best available evidence, trying to be gathering, acquire and best available evidence. After that, do an appraisal or appraise. اختبر هذه الإيفيدنس، حاول إنك تشوفها وتختار الأفضل منها، وبعدين try to make and applying to that evidence in your and after that try to be analyzing the outcomes of this evidence. The last slide, we're talking about the clinical pathway or the clinical guideline and clinical pathway or the clinical guidelines is a consensus statement developed to assist in a clinical management decisions. يعني هو إجماع على موضوع إنه كيف تساعد في عملية القرار فيما يخص بعض. يعني مثلا تكون MI guidelines أو any diabetic guidelines or diabetic type 1 guidelines. This is a guidelines in your organizations based on the references, and it's important things here, like what we talk in that evidence-based practice to reduce the variation. Because if I have approved guidelines in my organization, that means I'm sure when any patient admitted through ER or admitted anywhere and diagnosed by this, should be all the process or all care given to him according to the evidence-based practice, according to the approved guideline in the hospital. There was no assignable variations in the healthcare process. Clinical pathway, we are looking for what? We're looking for this guideline to try to make it as a tools, help me to summarize that guidelines in the shape of a pathway. When patient received and taking one and A and B and C, and for example, and every set of like in a flow chart, for example, to show me the pathway of the patients there. Clinical pathway and the characteristics and benefits, it's document-based tools and enhance the standardization and reduce the variation of clinical practice. This is the main things. Enhance standardizations and reduce the variation. Improve the communication again and team between and interdisciplinary teams, because you have a guideline, you have a pathway, everyone, they will know this guideline and they will know his rules, how to be make any intervention, what the time for his intervention. It's not looking for the personal judgment and more applicable for non-complicated illness rather than the medical things, because some critical and some for example in ER, for example, sometimes you are going for stabilize the cases first and trying to make the implementation, but you should have guidelines at least for the top 5 diagnoses in your hospital based on many national or international standard related. Okay, the question here, which is the following some team member is responsible for keeping the meeting focused? What's the answer you think? We are talking here about keeping the meeting focused. We are not talking about leader to be. It's mainly the responsibility. This is in part 1. This is responsibility of the facilitator. In lean thinking, a process step is defined as a value added if the customer recognize the value, customer correct a mistake to added value, process owner recognize the value, process owner change the value of the product. يعني انت من الوهله الاولى اذا جاك في السؤال بالطريقه هذه بروسيس اونر يعني خلينا نتفكر انه احنا قلنا الفاليو ادد فروم ذا كاستمرز، فمعناته السي والدي ما راح يكون هو من ضمن خياراتي فاستبعدهم. يبدا الخيار ما بين عندي A و B. customers recognize the value or correct a mistake to add value. فالاقرب ان تكون الاجابه what do you think؟ correct اللي هي A, customer recognize the value. Quality improvement team development stage including all the following except. Here the except. If you remember, we're talking about the stage of the growth of the teams, starting by forming, norming, and starting by forming, storming, norming, performing. That means we have there is answers here. What is the accept? Yes, correct. The correct the answer will be D, confirming. Okay, upon completion of a performance improvement project, who is the best person to combine and write a report? As I told you, in the final project, and finish the project, who is the responsible to write the final project report? Is not a quality manager, sure, not facilitator, and that's not a recorder. It's mainly they will be a team leaders. Okay, we reached the last in this 2 parts, but I will try today to استاذ عبد اللطيف اذا كان عندي وقت ممكن اعمل شوي في العربي عن المحاضره اليوم بشكل سريع.
اول شيء شكرا جزيلا لك، ما شاء الله تبارك الله. يعني today you were able to manage the time efficiently. واحنا we have 10 minutes more so we can translate. We have some questions that you can answer. In addition to that يعني at the end في some announcement just I will mention to all. فالمايك معك 10 دقائق كذا just to answer questions و give update زي ما قلت لنا في البدايه انه you will translate in Arabic for the non-Arabic speaker. تفضل يعني.
اول شيء شكرا لك يا اخوي عبد اللطيف وتشرفت فيك اليوم. بخصوص موضوع البرنامج اليوم يعني مينلي انا ما اتكلم في العربي بشكل كبير. بديناها في عمليه الميثودولوجيا والمنهجيات الخاصه بالتحسين، وبديناها في منهجيه اسمها الفوكس PDCA من المنهجيات القديمه. طبعا الاقدم من PDCA Hospital Cooperation of America، وقالوا انه لو طبقت موضوع شيوارت او ديمينج PDCA فعمليه البلان في المرحله هذه فانت تعمل زي ما تعمل اللي هي ما هي المشكله، وش الهدف اللي انت عارفه، وش جذر المشكله، وش الحلول اللي مقترحه، بعدين تضع البلان وتعمل امبلمنتيشن وتعمل اكت. فاخذنا الفوكس BDCA. طبعا هو منهجيه جميله جدا سهله، ما تحتاج منك تعب كثير، سهله في التطبيق. وشرحناها في موضوع انه عندك مرضى ما يجون ياخذون اكثر من 40%. هل المشكله هذه تورق المستشفى؟ نعم تورق المستشفى. هل هي تؤثر؟ هل هي اللاين مع الاستراتيجيه واللاين تؤثر على اللونج ويتنج تايمز فور بيشنت فور سكند فور اذر appointments. برضو ان فهذه الجزئيات طبقتها عليها، اوكي معناته المشروع جيد. معناته اشتغل على جزئيه وش الفايند. الفايند عندي اني اهم شيء اركز على موضوع البروبلم، كيف انا اكتب البروبلم بطريقه سليمه، لانه اذا عرفت المشكله بطريقه سليمه فمعناته انت الان بتشتغل على التحسين بشكل جيد. فطريقه الكتابه ان تغطي لي مثلا اللي هو ماذا ومتى واين وش الامباكت او الاثر على المشكله نفسها. فانا قلت لكم انه مثلا خلال الست شهور الماضيه 40% من المرضى لا ياتون لمواعيد العيادات الف انتظار المرضى وعدم رضاهم واثر على الساتسفاكشن. هذا محدد اللي هو سبيسيفيك ميجربل قابل للقياس، attainable يمكن الوصول اليه، رياليستيك واقعي، وتايم باوند اللي مربوط 20% خلال الست شهور القادمه. كتبتها بشكل جيد هذه بالفايل. كلاريفاي اتاكد واني اضع الفلو تشارت الكرنت فلو تشارت، اتاكد الا قصدي الاورجنايز ذا تيم. قلت لكم انه كيف انت الان قصدي كيف انت شو اسمه اكتب لا اله الا الله البروسيس، وبعدها تاخذ من كل منطقه. يعني مثلا المريض اللي جاي العيادات بيستقبله الريسبشن، يروح ياخذ العلامات الحيويه، بعدين بينتظر، بعدين يروح الطبيب، يقابل الممرضه، بعدين يطلع على ممكن يقابل مدير العيادات، ممكن يقابل في عمليه الامبروفمنت. بعدين تعمل وش اسباب جذر المشكله وتختار الحلول المناسبه، وبعدين تعمل لها خطه، وبعدين تطبقها تطبيق جزئي، وبعدين تقيس الاثر بعد التطبيق. اذا كان الاثر جيد تطلع انه خلاص انت تعمل لها اكتنج او يسمونها اكت اللي هو كنترول اللي حصل عليها. اهم شيء في السكس سيجما الاهم اني انا اقل
في الصوت. يعني الزملاء يكتبون لي هنا في الكويشن انا انسى انه في تقطيع في الصوت، لكن هي ترى ترانزليت. يعني اللي قاعد يسوي الدكتور عايد هو ترجمه لمكان هو بالانجليزي، وفي ناس ما شاء الله اشوفهم يقولون it was very clear يعني it doesn't need for translating. فاعذروني يعني الصوت هو خارج يد دكتور عايد وخارج يدي ولكن ان شاء الله يعني المسج توصل.
احنا ترى باقي 7 دقائق. اذا كان في اسئله، طبعا انا بتكلم عن السكس سيجما انها ريديوس تقليل الفاريشن والديفكت. اللين هو ازاله الهدر او eliminate the waste. الكايزن نفس الشيء. بعدين تطرقنا للموضوع انه how to monitoring by using dashboard، وكيف تعمل يسمونها البنش ماركينج او كيف تقارن نفسك مع الافضل، يعني مع منشاه او مكان يؤدي نفس العمليه بس يكونوا افضل منك. وتكلمنا على موضوع الاخير اللي هو عمليه اللي هو الايفيدنس evidence based practice المبني على البراهين، وعمليه الجايد لاينز. فهذا اللي تكلمنا احنا فيها اليوم. اذا في اسئله اخوي عبد اللطيف ممكن نجاوبها في خلال ال5 دقائق الاخيره هذه.
طيب في معنا كم سؤال، يعني اذا فتحت الشات موجود عندنا. اول سؤال كان ثاني سؤال هو اول سؤال. شكر استاذ عايد. هو هدلية كاسترو هي أصرت أنها تشكرك فتقول شكرا لك. في سؤال يتكلم عن ACT. أنا استغربت من السؤال. هو يقول usually it's fail at the end of the project. Is this correct?
fail.
هو يتكلم عن focus PDCA.
Yeah.
نتكلم عن ال A ACT.
Yeah, the last stage or last step.
دائما ال ACT is fail.
Yeah.
كأني أقرأ من كلامه أصلا to act أنت you need to do a plan. Most probably the plan was not accurate. That's why it's lead for.
No, I'm gonna give you a scenario, Mr. Abdelatif. Thank you for these questions, because sometimes during the project time we do an interventions and we are supporting this intervention, and there is some visible improvements happen there. But in ACT, sometimes we are only monitoring. But for if I go to my examples, I do a units for call centers. And also I updating my policies. If I'm not added this unit in the procedures of my policies in OBD, it will be not later on. I cannot maintain my gain. Second things, if I didn't put this unit in an organization chart of the OBD and very visible and approved, it will be not maintaining later on. If I don't add it to their job description, the responsible person for call centers, if I'm not added to his job description, it will be failed later on. In case of also, if I don't give him an assigned letters to be work as members in call centers, it will be failed later on. Because sometimes, I'm sorry, I'm talking about some administrative or nursing, or they will cover that area during the project. But later on, maybe any change happens to the nursing area department or in the administrative department, and they will be taking that staff from OBD to other areas. It's sure my project will be failed in the ACT. You should be trying to be sit and this changing the policies if need to be changed the policies, assign, added to the job description if some individual responsible about this improvements or this intervention, put it in the organization chart, and try to be sit on a KPI to follow up that improvements.
طيب بالنسبة للسix sigma, there are some questions usually they talk about Six Sigma. Can we use it in the hospital? وإذا كان في الhospital, is there any specific section or department? هل في قسم معين في Six Sigma نستخدمها? Do you recommend using Six Sigma?
Nowadays we can implement it in many areas, but if you go to the tree of the Six Sigma, you will find Six Sigma is mainly need a lot of expert people in the team to help you in a statistic. And mainly it's used in the private sectors or some areas because we're trying to looking for the revenue and or reducing the cost. And public hospital or governmental hospital, nowadays we are going for transformation. Nowadays you should looking for the Six Sigma, because mainly you are looking for that how to reducing the cost or how to increase the patient or customer satisfaction and reducing the waiting times. It could be implemented, yes, it's not, but implemented in the area what you are able to gathering and collecting accurate data there. If you have any data related to financials, it's very good, because the visible improvement will be clear for you, because you will measuring something related to finance. If not, it's happened there. I implemented in in a hospital what I work in there. In that time, and for example, in diabetic centers, and also in some areas, we implement the Six Sigma there. It's very easy, but it's not. Sometimes you cannot reach Six Sigma. Sometimes you improve from 2 Sigma to 3 to 4, but we are seeking for perfection. That means we are trying to reach zero defect. We are providing services, we cannot guarantee we will reach zero defect, but we're trying our best.
There is also questions about zero incidents. What's the meaning of zero incidents? You mentioned zero incidents.
Yeah, there is an example of that. If you go to the example, I'm talking about, for example, wrong side surgery. This is zero. This is about there. See here, example, wrong side surgery, next hospital, further the zero incidents. And your goals and your benchmark for this to be reached zero, nothing, because this is sentinel events. If you do a wrong side surgery in your organization, that means you have something wrong to be working it. Zero incidents, this is your goal, this is your benchmark. Like, for example, child abductions, maternity death, unexpected death, anything related to sentinel event, what already you will have to be reach zero. Trying to be improve your performance in that area.
طيب إذا سمحت لي يعني دكتور عايد، هو وصلنا احنا طبعا almost يعني وصلنا end of the time، بس في بعض الريمايندر I would like to mention بالنسبة للشهادات. كثير من الزملاء they ask about الشهادات. فالcertificate will be sent to you the email registered during لما جاء registration. بس أنا دائما I advise to put your first و second name في النيم والفاميلي نيم، تضع الفاميلي نيم عشان يطلع كلير. المحاضرات will send it to you. We try to send it to the email بس فيها difficulties شوية عشان السيستم is not helping us، بس we will do that. التسجيل we will send it social media والإيميل إن شاء الله. الشات كان أحد يسأل يقول do you deactivate الشات لأنها كانت disturbing شوية. اللغة الإنجليزية كثير أشادوا فيها، وبصراحة يعني ما شاء الله تبارك الله كثير من الناس أشادوا بمستوى البساطة والمعلومة اللي وصلت لقلوبهم قبل عقولهم. شكرا جزيلا يعني أبو فهد، ما قصرت، قدمت مادة دسمة خفيفة بسيطة، الكل فعلا أشاد بهذا الشيء. أشكرك من الأعماق. أتمنى أني أقرأ لك النوتس اللي كتبت. أنا رحت للأسئلة ولقيت أغلب الأسئلة هي بصراحة بمثابة شكر لما قدمت، واعذرونا إذا ما قدرنا نغطي جميع الأسئلة، لكن إحنا ترى معاكم. إدارة الجودة في وزارة الصحة ممثلة بالإدارة العامة وجميع إدارات الجودة في التجمعات الصحية وفي مناطق والمحافظات والمستشفيات رهن إشارتكم وتحت أمركم. ترانا إحنا كلنا لكم في جميع وسائل التواصل، إيميلات، جوالات، سوشيال ميديا، any type of communication. الكواليتي هي أساسنا وهي الشيء اللي نبحث عنه. شكرا دكتور عايد، إذا عندك أي مداخلة أخيرة.
يعطيك العافية. أنا تشرفت فيك اليوم صراحة، سعدت أني أكون معك اليوم ومع الزملاء كلهم، وأتمنى أني قدمت ما يفيد. يعني اعذروني إذا كان ما وصلت لبعض الزملاء، إذا ما وصلت بشكل جيد. أنت عارفين أن CPHQ أو التحضير للCPHQ ما راح يكون بالشكل اللي يعني مرة in details، بس أنه حاولنا خلال محاضرتين يعني ساعة ساعتين خلال أن نغطي توبيك راح يجيكم منه 40 سؤال. فأتمنى أني وفقت في ذلك. أن شكرا للإدارة العامة للجودة ممثلة بالأستاذة هيفا النعيمي وفريق العمل الموجود. شكرا أخوي أبو مشاري. شكر خاص موصول للأستاذ عبد العزيز الباقي. شكر لجميع من حضر المحاضرات. شكرا لزملائي اللي احنا نسميهم دائما عمالقة الجودة، زملائي اللي قدموا المحاضرات السابقة، زملائي اللي وإن شاء الله باقي محاضرتين مع الدكتورة شيماء. أكيد أن الدكتورة شيماء بإذن الله راح تقدم البيشنت سيفتي بشكل سلس، وبإذن الله راح يكون تستفيدوا منها أكثر. عمالقة الجودة زملائي اللي قدموا وأنا أتعلم منهم كثير، وما زلت أتعلم أيضا منكم كلكم. أتمنى أني قدمت المفيد خلال البارت 1 والبارت 2. أتمنى إذا وفقت فهو من الله سبحانه وتعالى، وإذا ما وفقت فمن نفسي والشيطان. شكرا أبو مشاري، شكرا لكم جميعا. نراكم إن شاء الله في لقاءات قادمة بإذن الله.
بإذن الله تعالى. شكرا لك جزيلا، ولا تنسون موعدنا بكرة بإذن الله مع الدكتورة شيماء في محاضرة البيشنت سيفتي الجزء الأول. ومستمرين معاكم إن شاء الله في برنامج CPHQ. شكرا جزيلا لكم، واسمحوا لي الآن ننهي اللقاء. شكرا جزيلا أستاذ عايد.
شكرا لك.